Welcome back to the channel, guys. Goji Boy here. Today we have a review of the Figma Samus Aran from Metroid Prime 3. Let's begin. Here we have Samus. We're going to do a quick rotation so you can get a look at those details throughout the figure. Jumping into their articulation. Her head can move upwards, down, rock side to side. One thing that I will showcase that I found rather interesting when I first picked up this figure was that the neck itself is a floating piece. It just kind of like works as a sleeve and you just port it in there. It does allow again for all of that articulation, but I don't know if that was necessary for it. It's kind of weird and just, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense to me why they would go for that. But nonetheless, very nice detailing with the helmet, nice greens on the visor, tubes nicely sculpted as well, solid. Arms are a bit of a problem for me. She can get her arms crossed in order to hold her arm cannon, but I just find it kind of weird that they have to be so high up in order to do that successfully. I don't think it looks natural at all. So as you can see, it's got to be like really high up in order to successfully do it. Otherwise, she can hold it, but it just doesn't work too well. I feel like between the articulation of the arm itself and just the chest pieces themselves right here, this whole sculpt is, it protrudes. I mean, that's what the figure, the character looks like in the game, but it does impede the movement a bit to get there flawlessly. So again, she can do it. It just looks a little weird to me, and it's something that I tend to struggle with when I'm trying to get her into a decent pose holding her arm cannon. So butterfly joints, you got the rotations right here. Her shoulder pads do move up a bit, so you can get her to move her arms upwards just right there. Perfect. So T-posing in a sense, but yeah, you got to move the shoulder pads in order to get that successfully. She has the bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then the hands are on pegs themselves that you port in. There we go. She can bend backwards about that much and forward just a tad bit. She does have this little piece that like tucks away when you're moving her for those bending poses, crouch forwards, but really kind of minimal. And there's really no other articulation right here in the stomach area at all. Her right arm is double jointed as well with the arm cannon, and that's where it stops. There's nothing else that moves, so to speak, with the arm cannon itself. So one solid piece right here. I mean, you do pop this portion off for the swappable missile end of it, but that is it. Her legs can kick forwards that much, backwards that much. She can't really do the splits, and these portions right here at the upper part of the leg do flap around, which is weird because again, it's not like it's adding to the leg movement to do the splits. So I just find that odd that they move around when it's not even required to do that. There is no thigh cut, so the movement is all right here on the upper portion of the leg, and then the next segment you have is the double jointed knees. So no movements at all. Solid piece. Ankle rocker is pretty nice though. It's gorgeous actually. Got that deep coverage. And then you have the toe articulation right here. Again, beautiful sculpt as well as color separation with those translucent greens, making it look right out of the video game. I will say, even when this figure first came out, I found it to feel slippery. Like like you couldn't really pose it, I felt, without it just like going whoops, whoops, and just like moving around too much and staying still. And I still stand by that to this day. It still feels slippery. So, something to note. I feel like that's a part of the design overall. The sculpting, it just, I don't know, it doesn't really work for me. Like, it's a dope figure, but that slip and slide, nah, I'm not there for that. Nope, no thank you. So, in regards to accessories, she again comes with the left hand that you see here, a fist. She also comes with an open hand, the thumbs up, and a video game hand, which I think is really neat, and a relaxed hand. And all of these, again, are beautifully sculpted, detailed nicely, got that green on them, very nice. For the right arm, here we have the attachment, so you pour it off that end piece, and then you have this one that just plugs right in when she's shooting her missiles. And you also get a morph ball version of her, which simply has a little port to use on a stand, and that is it. No beam effects. Sad face. So there's that. In regards to a quick size comparison, we're going to go ahead and bring in another Figma. We have the Figma Link from Twilight Princess. And we also have one of the newer releases for the SH Figuarts line, being the SH Figuarts Itachi right here, just so that you can get a sense of scale. My man does not want to stand up, but there we go. And moving these guys out of the way, here we have a really big figure. So this is the, man, this guy's not going to be in frame, is he? So this is the NECA Aliens Defiance Xenomorph. So we're going to bring him a little bit crouched down, but Aliens Defiance Xenomorph right here. And I think Samus with these NECA aliens, forget it. It just works so well for photography. Like, it's so much fun. But fortunately can't get him into frame. He is just way too tall, but these work. Photography with Samus and aliens is so much fun. If you have a Samus, if you have an alien, give it a shot. It's insanely cool. All right, let's wrap this up. So the bottom line is this figure is pretty dated. Not to say that it's, you know, by any means a bad figure. It is still awesome to just have for photography purposes and just on the shelf, especially if you're a Metroid fan. But you can tell, just messing around with it, it just feels a little old. It doesn't really move the way that figures do nowadays, like in 2024. It just really is lacking some of that articulation in areas where unfortunately need, you know, that max articulation, especially crossing her arms so that she can actually grab her hand cannon and make it look normal instead of wonky. Accessory wise, pretty good accessories. I just wish she would have some kind of beam effect, but regardless, amazing figure. If you could get her on the cheap side, get her. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. You can check out my Instagram at gojiboy93, where you're going to find photos of this figure and many others in my collection. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. It'll help me out a lot. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, peace.